This month I've been given 3 challenges for my health. One was mental and I gotta mean thoughtful. One was dietary and another one was spiritual. Guess which one I failed at? If you're new to the channel, each week I interview experts. They unpack their knowledge on a subject so we get ideas about how to have great health. To make their knowledge practical, I ask them to set us a challenge. This video is a roundup of those challenges. While I'm not an expert on health and wellness, I am a wellness explorer. And the reason I do it is because I enjoy learning more and I like to share that with other people too. Before I get into this month's challenges, I want to go back over the last 90 days and just talk about a couple of challenges that I took earlier on. So just over 90 days ago, I spoke to fitness expert Sarah Taylor, and she gave me a challenge to start at 50 squats and add 1 squat a day for 100 days. That added up to 10,100 squats. What I found from adding the squats was that I actually got faster when I was running. I think it's because I had a bit more leg strength. So my run times actually came down from about 47 minutes to just very slightly over 44 minutes. And then since completing Sarah's squat challenge a few weeks ago, what I did was I reduced the number of squats that I was doing, but added some weight. So I started off with 12 kilos, but found that they were too light. So then I put the weight up to about 20 kilos and I'm now doing about 60 squats with 20 kilos. Can probably do more as well, so I may start adding another one each time with that again. Day to day, it feels nice to actually, as you're walking around, you just know that you've got more power in your legs, you know you've got more strength. Dr. Chris Pickard talked about adding beetroot into your diet twice a day. I've been taking beetroot powder in my smoothies and shakes. And although there's no way for me to really measure this, I do feel like I'm actually breathing a little bit more easily. I also feel like my body's began to carry a little bit less stress. And I've also noticed a shift in my mood. Yeah, I'm actually feeling more positive about life, which actually feels like laughing in the face of COVID. In one of the other episodes, Janie Lee Grace was talking about removing the chemical products that we use on our bodies and in our home. Janie talked about how those products can affect our respiratory system. I always struggle with that, respiratory system. It's quite hard to say, respiratory system. So the other day there was some house cleaning going on, polishing the table, cleaning the bathroom, that kind of stuff. And both Joe and I ended up with sore throats. We ended up opening the windows and like 2 or 3 hours later, the smells had gone, but it was the next day before our throats had cleared up. So if you suffer from asthma or respiratory illnesses, I managed to say that time, respiratory illnesses, this might be something for you to think about. Our intention was actually to ditch all of the household products, all of the cleaners, and then change them for natural alternatives. But for some reason, we didn't actually do that, but we're going to do that now. So I just wanted to talk about those things that had really stood out for me from our previous videos. The interviews I do, they're really just about learning more. They're about expanding our awareness, about getting some clarity on what really affects us, and putting some new habits in place if you want to. So let's talk about this month's challenges. Mental health expert Richard Tyler gave me a challenge when we were talking about grit and resilience. Richard's challenge was to sit with what is and ask yourself, can I? You might remember I had that experience with sugar a few weeks ago where it was my birthday and I'd eaten cake and had a few beers and things like that, and how it really affected me. And then I woke up the next day and it was, time to work out, and I didn't really want to work out. And so I realised it was just sugar. And I just needed to overcome what was going on for me mentally that was making me feel lethargic, that was stopping me from exercising. So I asked the question, can I? And the answer, of course, was yes, I can. It's just sugar. So that was a moment where I used grit and resilience. And then at work, I had another experience where it had been a long day and I was a bit tired coming towards the end of the day. And it was a project I was working on that I needed to finish. And I asked myself, can I? And actually on this occasion, the answer was no, because I wasn't going to do my best work. So I thought, well, maybe I could do it in an hour, or maybe I could just leave it till tomorrow. So Richard's process, asking that question, can I, actually allowed me to make 2 decisions with compassion for myself. So in my interview with Dawn Breslin, we were talking about harnessing autumn energy. And she gave us the challenge of deciding what it is that we could celebrate that had happened for us so far this year, and also deciding what we can let go of and releasing that into a fire. So that's 2 of the challenges, and we haven't even covered what I failed at yet. Dr. Chris Pickard's nutrition challenge this month was to give up gluten, processed foods and sugar, and dairy, nicotine and artificial sweeteners. So this is the one I failed. I don't smoke. Check. I don't eat dairy because I've got an allergy. Check. But gluten. Failed. Processed foods I actually did quite well on, but I did have 2 gluten-free burger buns for another project that I was working on. And those buns were actually technically 7 days apart, so maybe the buns don't count, but I think they do. And the burgers had some sauces on them, so that's really got to count as processed food as well, hasn't it? And in the same time frame, I was also reviewing some raw vegan chocolate. So I think that's another fail. And I could look at this like it's a failure, but it's not really. You only fail when you decide you've failed, and I haven't really. What I've actually got is data. Out of the 6 things I was supposed to give up, 2 were no problem for me whatsoever. The other 4, well, do you know what? I know what they are. And doing this exercise tells me where they're hiding. And if I want to go and do this again, I could absolutely go and do that again, but I'd have more clarity this time. So here's what I got from this month's challenges. A really nice way to treat yourself when you're faced with a decision is to ask yourself, can I? I know a lot of us struggle to be kind to ourselves, so I think Richard's question is a great question. Can I? Dawn's challenge felt nice, kind of like spiritual. You might say, well, it's a bit fluffy, it's a bit woo-woo, does it really work? But that's why it's spiritual, isn't it? It's not physical, not really. And it just felt nice to think that all of the stresses and struggles of this year could just be let go and sent up in flames. The diet challenge to give up gluten, processed foods, sugars, dairy, nicotine, artificial sweeteners. Alright, so I didn't get that one complete, and I'm okay with that. My awareness of what stopped me and what could stop me in the future has grown, and I know what could stop me going forward. And I can try again and I can do better next time. Why not try some of our challenges? You never know, you might find some unexpected health benefit waiting for you. I'll add links into the descriptions below so that you can see where all of the challenges from this month originate from, just so you can increase your health and wellness knowledge. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, it really does help the channel. And why not subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of all of our latest uploads as and when they happen.